I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Do you have an objection? Over here.
Oh, I love getting that look out from her. So,
No, I don't.
so we,
Our staff don't hook up the speakers. So,
And we're over occupancy, so I would say we're in violation.
we probably are.
Of an Open Meetings Act. So we're in violation of an Open Meetings Act. So we're not going to accommodate everybody.
Attorney says we're not.
Okay, you are.
Call the meeting to order. Brent, you want to lead us to the pledge?
pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
John, welcome. Are you around?
Yeah.
You want to lead us in prayer?
Okay. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, all glory and honor goes to you. We thank you for this beautiful day, for even though it's windy, for the weather turning. We thank you for this beautiful community. For the times that we've fallen short and haven't lived up to your expectations, or we've sinned against you, we beg your forgiveness and ask you to help us sin no more. We thank you for the patriots that came before us, that created this wonderful township. We hope to live up to their expectations and to your expectations as we further to improve it. Help us to understand each other's issues and concerns, and we come up with a proper and right decision on everything we take up here tonight. We ask all of this through you, through your Son, Jesus Christ, who lives and reigns with you forever and ever. Amen.
Clerk will call the roll.
Trustee Conley?
Here.
Trustee Garwin?
Here.
Trustee Vanovo?
Here.
Trustee Rivera?
Here.
Supervisor Ballard?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Chairman Moser, I'd like to call point of order, please. I'd like a motion to modify the agenda. A motion to remove agenda item 8A.
I'll second the motion.
Is that 8A?
8A.
I can't hear. No.
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 No. That's why half of us are here. No.
Yeah, it has nothing to do
That
with
has nothing to do with the subject.
You don't want us to talk, so I can't, we can't hear you. We can't hear you back here. So can you hear him out there? No? No? Yeah. So we can't have an open meeting.
There's a motion to remove item 8A from the agenda.
They want to wipe 8A off the agenda.
Hey, if you guys keep speaking back there, you're not going to hear anything.
Speak up!
Point of order.
Stop talking.
And that item has nothing to do with what you guys signed up for. That's why we're removing it, because everybody will be confused. It has zero to do with that development project that you're coming to speak about.
Could you explain what it does have to do with? Could you explain what it is? For those of us that don't know?
Not now, because it's removed. And we might not ever, we may not even bring it back. That's why it's
Sure.
removed.
Thank you.
There's usually an agenda on the table, you can read what it's in.
I read it before.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing to do with that, so listen to what he's saying.
Again, I'm repeating, what we removed from the agenda, there's nothing on the agenda concerning what everybody's here to speak about, but we're not gonna tell people they
Bullshit!
can't. So everybody can speak. If you wanna talk, you can talk, but there's nothing on the agenda, and the item we removed has nothing to do with the development. So, and it may not even ever come back.
Do we duly note that?
It's on a video, so it is duly noted, and I'm not going to be answering questions either. Okay, so we'll call the roll.
Okay, Trustee Vanovo?
Here. Yes.
Trustee Rivera? Trustee Garwin? Trustee Conley? Sorry, Supervisor Ballard?
Yes.
Sorry.
One more word from your mouth and you can leave in this meeting. You got it? Whoever's talking up back there with vulgarity, you can leave. Whoever's making those upsetting.
Vulgar comment. Yeah, right? Yeah. You're a big tough guy, aren't you?
I need to get a motion. I need to get a motion to open the public hearing here at Township FY 2023 budget and appropriation.
I'll make a motion.
Violation of the Open Meetings Act. This meeting should not go
I'll call
on.
the order. I'll call the motion.
Right, Norma? Yep. Violation of the fire code, we're over occupancy, people can't.
Trying to
hear.
listen to the meeting, please stop.
Everybody is not
Call to order.
accommodated
Call to
right
order.
now.
There's one person to comment on this part of the meeting.
Ellen Moriarty.
Okay, so I realize that everybody is here about the senior housing thing.
Wait a minute, we're not talking about senior housing. We're talking about the budget and appropriation ordinance. That's all you're talking about now. You signed up for
I know,
all
I'm
three.
explaining to people what I'm gonna speak
It
about
only has
now.
to do with budget and appropriation ordinance. That's all it's supposed to be.
Okay, so,
If you'd like to talk about that, you're more than welcome.
yes, I'm gonna ask when and where were the tentative budgets posted?
Well, the budget's been posted.
I'm supposed to have a question and answer in a
Because the
public
clerk
hearing.
is going to
Okay.
answer.
I am writing
Oh,
it down.
okay, fine.
Okay, I don't want to. You can, if you want, you
I'm
can.
sorry, this is a public hearing.
You're more than welcome to
This is-
vote, yeah.
Yes, this is a public hearing.
Not a public question.
This isn't public comment. This isn't public comment. This is a public hearing on these items, on these budget items. They're supposed to be posted 30 days in advance, have all of us look at the budget, have all of us come here with a question about our budgets and about the road department budget.
Everything that you say is correct, except we can choose not to answer your questions because it's for
Well, where
public
was it-
comment, not for public questions.
Where was it
That's what the
posted?
statute
I'm
says.
s-
They can answer
Could
if
you
they
please
want.
read that statute? Because I read it today and that's not what it says. When
I don't have the statute in
and
front of me,
where
but public
were
comments,
the
they can answer if
budgets
they choose.
posted 30 days in advance?
Why would you not answer that?
Why not?
Yeah, why wouldn't you? I'm not gonna, this isn't gonna be a hostile situation, I'm not gonna be answering questions. It's ask me nicely, that's fine.
Everything, I'm going to just say one thing. All the stuff was posted in the newspaper and in
What newspaper?
the Southtown.
When?
I don't remember the
I
date.
usually
Just
have
when
that.
it was-
Okay. The budgets are dated April 12th. This is May 9th. There's no way that they could be up 30 days beforehand.
We voted on that the last meeting, so it was posted after the last
They were
meeting.
dated April 12th.
Ellen, we're not going to argue with you, period. You want to get the stuff, send it for you, and we'll give you the information, because it's all there. Okay?
Everyone should not have to FOIA.
Well, she does, wait a minute, we're getting a little bit out
Oh,
of
I
place here.
FOIA.
When
Good job.
the township passed this last month at our meeting, and we posted it in the newspapers, and we posted it in places that are, where people could see it. Now, whether you know what's going on or not, it's up to you to find out where it's posted. One was
It's not up
at,
to us.
one was right on our door.
This is
and
notice
one
of a
was
public
over
hearing
here.
to approve our budgets for the coming
Ellen,
year.
I think
We're
you're out of
supposed to
time.
be notified. We're not
We don't
supposed to play
send you,
detective
no,
every
we don't
month.
send you a letter. We post it on our door, and we posted it at the road district.
On the door?
Township, never mind, I don't want to argue with you, we're not talking anymore. If you want that information, we'll give it to you, it's on it for you.
Steve, everything was posted 30 days out on the website, in the foyer, and in the paper. That's what's required by law. That's what was done.
So you know the date that they were posted in the paper?
I know that everything was posted in the foyer, on the website, and in the paper. Okay? This is supposed to be a Robert's Rules of Order meeting. You don't have any rights to come in here and disrupt Steve's
You're out of
meeting.
order. Don't talk to her like that.
So, Steve, it's Robert's Rules of Order, or we'll use the services of the Will County Sheriff's
Ellen's
Department to
done
remove
talking
people.
because she isn't talking. We'll move the next.
I understand. Well, that's what they're talking about.
I don't have 3 minutes. That again is not in a public hearing. It's a bad sport.
It's a different.
We're
Violate open meeting.
Yes, it does. You need to be able to accommodate every person.
Sir, I've had the training in the way. It doesn't violate.
Yes, John.
How does it
We're done with public comment.
I'm gonna follow their order.
We're going to move on to the Homer Township FY 2022-23 tentative budgets have been presented and published. Founders Crossing Bond, Founders Crossing General Assistance, Open Space Park Developer Contribution and Town Fund for fiscal year April 1st, 2022 through March 31st, 2023. I need a motion to adopt the Homer Township FY 2022-23 budget and appropriation ordinance number HT 2022-0509-
Who's buying their homes? Families with kids. Yeah, 2.5 kids. 250 going to the schools. That is an impact on our schools. My final note is, I want to live where I'm living. I'm going to stay there as long as I can. I've been there since 1985. I have kids on my block, I see school buses, that's what I want to see. I don't want to live just with 80-year-old people. I want to live with everybody. Thank you.
Listen, there's a lot of people here to talk. And if you're going to be going over like that, we're going to go to recess for 10 or 15 minutes, and that'll be the end of it.
You know, but you talk about being kind, and you're not gonna listen to people because
We
they're not
want you to
speaking
talk. That's why
appropriately.
you're
She's speaking appropriately, and you're still talking over her. And I could say that because she's my mother.
Time was done, we're giving
Your time
everybody
is done, but listen.
Well, then, you know what, then she should be respectful.
She is being respectful.
3 minutes.
She did not put you down, she did not say
I didn't put
anything
everybody
to you.
down, I said 3 minutes.
But you were disrespectful to that lady prior to this.
Madam Clerk, can we extend everyone's minutes maybe just to 5 and everyone's presented to get a couple extra?
We got too many people.
It's your community, then why would you not have
The other side of this is if you really want to talk, you come to the workshop at the village.
We will.
That's where the discussion is going to take
You
place.
can call me anytime, I'm here.
I emailed everybody on the board. Mike's the only person that emailed me back and spoke to me. I emailed every single one of you.
You didn't email me.
I did too.
Yes, he did.
I did too.
Because I emailed Paul.
I did too, and I asked Mike to forward it to all of you. And he said he would.
I didn't get it. But anyway, if you really want to talk for 5 minutes, that's where you go at the next meeting where they're actually going to have it on the agenda and talk about it, because our board passed it. Now it's at the Village of Homer Glen, and the Village of Homer Glen has to approve it or not approve it and decide it, because right now it's zoned for single family, it's E1, but it's acres instead of quarter acres. So the Village of Homer Glen may or may not pass it. The Village of Homer Glen might say, forget about it. I don't know. I don't know where all this is going to end up. But right now, you guys are here and you guys should speak. But you got to respect the 3-minute stuff, because otherwise it's going to be
But
dark.
then you have to be respectful and not talk when people are talking.
We're trying not to
Madam
talk.
Clerk, we're talking the whole time while this woman was
But
speaking.
let me just say something. I don't want to talk. It's you guys talking, but people keep asking me questions and then accusing me of stuff. And then it's like, okay, I got it.
on the list.
But anyway,
I wasn't accusing
I'm
you.
not you, no.
All right,
I'm
let's
not
move.
saying
Can we
it.
get on to the next speaker, please?
Oh, sure, now we can move on.
Call the next speaker.
Because she
No
said.
more recess. Linda.
Nope. It's Debbie.
Debbie.
Yes. Okay, Debbie, you're going to do 3 minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Quiet, my drink.
Good evening to all. My name is Debbie Laskowski. My family and I have lived in Homer Glen 19 years. We have always been proud of living here Unfortunately, we are brought here tonight by a proposal to destroy our open spaces that we all worked and fought for 20 years ago. If one open space is allowed to go, they will all go, mark my words. Oh, and by the way, to quote from the Homer Township Republicans platform from just last year, under heritage preservation, this was their statement. Strengthen the township's commitment to preserving open spaces and the natural beauty of the township. We are against any plans to increase density or bring in apartment complexes. We the people were deceived. We all need to understand the importance of saving this land. This is going down as an unprecedented event. No other township or village that I am aware of has ever tried to utilize the designated open space land for urban development. Stressing this again, get everyone you know to stand up for the abuse of powers the township officials are displaying. It's unethical, it's almost criminal. One of the top reasons for moving here is the nature and the promise of open space land. I understand the need for senior housing. So go purchase market rate land. Seniors will then own the land their home sits on, own their home, etc., just like the ones going to be built at 143rd and Golden Oak. What wise and educated senior is going to purchase a home on a land lease? Talk about a bad investment and will be a fail of epic proportions. Lastly, I will not opine on the township supervisor, developer, and other people potentially involved in this proposed project, as it is nothing more than a misdirected land grab. Spread the word to stop the land grab. Losing open space is a very serious issue, and I refuse to believe this is what our community wants. We, the people, need to stop this now.
Thank you. Thank you, and thank you for staying within the 3 minutes. I do appreciate that. Patricia Schilney?
Yes, thank you. I'm also here to speak about the Old Oak South subdivision, this retirement community that's going to be off Mulvaney Drive. I live on Mulvaney Drive. Mulvaney Drive is going to be the only entrance and exit. Mulvaney Drive is only 30 feet wide. It was not meant to be a thoroughfare. It is not wide enough to accommodate the additional traffic that this residential community is going to hold. You have 133 homes, figure 2 cars per home, plus their family, plus their friends, in and out of our subdivision, up and down one street. It's not wide enough. We were not meant to be a through street for this development. I'm all for senior residents. Go ahead. You have a facility that is just approved off of 143rd and Golden Oak Road. You're going to have another senior housing development there. You have Founders Crossing, you have Victoria's Village. How many do we need? Fine, if you feel the need that we need another one, find someplace else. This was open space land. This is not the land that this was meant to be on. And there's not enough room. The people in our community don't have the space with the traffic. I wonder why the township feels that we need another senior housing development when we have all those other ones. Does Homer Glen need to be the retirement mecca of Illinois? Does every inch of Homer Glen need to be built upon? When the traffic study is done, I hope that you include every street in the subdivision of Old Oak South, including Parker, 143rd, Bell Road, and 151st Street. Has anybody taken into consideration the amount of traffic that is just off of 151st Street, Bell, and Parker when the pumpkin farm is open, when Vegas' pumpkin farm is open, and the impact that that has? Now let's add some more cars to it, on top of the community development that we have at 143rd and Golden Oak. Is there been any consideration to ecological preservation? The nature that you're ripping up, the animals that use that property? You're already tearing down the property on 143rd and Golden Oak. Now you want to ruin the rest of it, the open space land that's over by the end of Mulvaney Drive on this property, Welcher property, whatever it's considered? Is there going to be an EPA study done about how the destruction of nature is going to impact the animals? Or how the car exhaust fumes are going to impact the quality of the air? When you destroy the nature, you're destroying the reason why people want to live in Homer Glen. I'll admit, I live on Mulroney. I'm 3 houses down from this development. I don't want this. I'm all for senior development. This is just not the correct location for this. 30 seconds. On May 6th of 2022, this past couple of days ago, I spoke with a prospective builder, John LaFlamboy, about his proposed development. I asked him if he's ever built homes before. He stated several neighboring subdivisions, and he mentioned he'd built a home or 2 here and there. He hasn't built anything in 5 years. His company is listed as a janitorial company. I asked him about that. He said he's going to update his website. Oh my! Then I said, do you have a bank financing your, I'm going to speak. And then I said, do you have a bank that's financing this project? He said he doesn't have a bank that's financing it. He's going to do this himself. He's going to self-fund this. I want to know if the township has bothered to look into his financials. Can he afford this? You've got a builder set to build on property that doesn't build? And he doesn't have a bank that's financing him? That opens up a whole world of other questions about finances that I'm not going to get into here today.
Okay, thank you, Bravo. David?
Yeah, that was my wife, thank you. All right. I'm a 30-year resident here of this community. My wife and I raised 2 boys in a great community. A community with schools attached that provided great education for them. A community for the 30 years we have been here has advocated and supported open space. I stand here now because people sitting at the head table who were elected last year have decided to change what we have with our open space.
Okay, he's not listening. Hold on.
Well, we could put the speakers outside. They can listen outside if they want.
The speakers.
Okay.
But the fire department said that we have to clear the room out except for 48 people. So the people that signed up for speaking, you know, a bunch of you go out, otherwise we'll have to not have the meeting at all right now. So,
change the meeting.
Reschedule the meeting. It's a violation of our rights.
a handful of people will go outside.
Everyone came so we could hear each other. That is what is right. Let everyone be heard, and then everyone get the same.
Calm down, please.
I'm perfectly calm.
Calm down.
We will make the right decision.
We will make the decision. Thank you. We will make the
This is a violation of an open meeting act. We all want to participate in this meeting, and he's not letting us.
You were the one standing there saying, call the fire department.
Are you?
You got him here? No. Wednesday, maybe? No. Yeah, just have fun. Have you? They're asking if they can schedule for Monday night at the Village Hall. They have a meeting.
I wouldn't know. I have not. I don't keep. Monday, we've got a meeting tomorrow, Wednesday. But next Monday, I don't have a clue. I'd have to look at the agendas. I know I don't have one.
My website doesn't, my email doesn't work. My
Just so everybody knows, I let them know to expect a large crowd tonight. I let them know in advance that they're going to be a large crowd.
They could be at the town hall.
Sham.
There's no floor.
There's a floor. Oh, yes, there is. I forwarded the insurance company grant. There's nothing wrong with
Land with the wheel and you measure. Okay. All right.
You're blocking the, you're blocking the video.
I'm a better door than I am a window.
I know. Yeah.
Not 6 feet between, no. Well, no, you need one set of cars.
48's the total of the community.
The others can be closer together. You need that 10-foot space. Between, here, John, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars. The first set, 2 cars, north and south, space of 10 feet. Then the rest of the cars start from there. It's going to be bumper to bumper. It just needs to have a space. Room between the cars.
6 feet should be good. Set 6 feet. So it's
Yeah, but back in requires you to take.
we're not doing
No, I didn't expect that. Yeah, it's in the plaza, the furniture. I told John.
Penny's got it from John.
Period. It's easier.
Okay.
They will.
But it didn't really change.
I don't, you know what? You gotta figure it's gotta be, if you don't want it so deep, your wheels are gonna go down the gravel and bury the cars.
We were planning for people that we could sit up and speak. There's no power. All the power was up.
Here.
That's what I'm asking the board if they want to reschedule. So I would think it's better recess and we'll pick it up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna stop public comments because we have to by law pass the road district levy or he doesn't get anything and you won't get the roads done. So
We have all night, we deserve to be heard.
we're going to have this meeting at another time.
In a larger venue.
I may not be able to make the next meeting. Can I speak to that?
Well,
Yeah, I agree.
the problem is, wait a minute. The problem is that some people want to have the meeting now, and there's all these people outside that are mad now. There's other people that want to cancel it and go back again. So the fair thing to do is just to reschedule it for another week from now, so that everybody can, and you can get more people then too. I mean, you get more people to come out.
Where are you gonna hold it?
Could the handful of us that might not be able to make it speak tonight?
Can we just do a few
more?
Okay, the problem is, if we do a few more, everyone outside will not hear the public comments. You understand?
And everybody.
So, write it up.
You should have rescheduled from the beginning.
He's on the phone right now. They've been talking the whole time in the hallway, that's why.
No, they were not.
Yes, they were.
It's just a few more.
It doesn't make a difference to me if you guys want to continue, I'm fine.
They were talking about how their rights were being violated.
Can we open windows? Is that a fair point?
I don't have a problem, be quiet everybody please. I don't have a problem with continuing the meeting, but we do have a problem because there's a lot of people that wanted to talk, and I don't even know if they're in the room or they're out of the room. That's why I said it's probably the fair and better thing just to reschedule the meeting. And before we reschedule it, I mean, if the majority of people, you know, they're probably mad as hell right now because they wanted to talk and they can't talk because the fire department told us and again, it's not anyone's fault, it's nature. We had speakers we were going to put outside so we would have an overflow room with speakers. But unfortunately, the power was out and we couldn't do it. So, too many people showed up and this is the result. And it's not a bad thing, but you know, if we start letting people talk, okay, who do we let talk? What, like, you want to talk, or you want to talk, and they say, what about us? We have how many people?
I'll talk and leave so someone else can come in and speak, if that's what we need to do.
Yeah, we can leave after we say our piece.
We're on
David. David just started talking.
We've got about 8 more people. So, I don't know, we'll try to continue with the people that signed up. And then we'll tell the others this is on video and they can
always watch the video. If they're not signed up to talk, they can watch it on video. So David, it's...
Do you want to ask if anyone else is?
It's not the point of an open meetings act.
You can't, Colin, you want it both ways, don't you, Ellen?
Correct, I knew
No,
that.
no, follow the law. I'm on both ways.
You want it to be open, but then you said you don't want to call the fire department.
We're going to try to...
I didn't call the fire
You were sitting
department.
there saying you're going to call the fire department.
Okay.
Everybody be quiet, let's let them talk.
Can I just say something, please, first? I'm going to read out the names that are on here. Please let me know if you're here so that you can speak, okay? So I'll start with David, because I know David's here. Alan Nemoff. Hi, Alan.
Yeah.
But wait, let David finish first, okay? Then we'll let you. Eric, I think it's Crane.
Yep, that's me.
Okay, Eric's here. Gail. I don't want to speak. Don't want to speak. I'm going to let you cross off your own name. Joe. That's Joe. Okay. Ron Savaro, I believe, left.
He left.
Okay.
No, there's people out there.
Greg, no, he left. Greg Fish, I can go out there and make sure. Greg
Greg's right
Fish.
there.
Okay, Greg, thank you, Greg. Nicolette Campobello, Nicolette. Mike Campobello.
Right here.
Okay. Ellen Moriarty, I see John Walters, is John?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so what, Greg, let me just see if Ron Savara's here.
Ron left.
He's gone.
He left, he said he was leaving, okay. So Gail, you said you don't want to talk? Right. This Gail, sorry, let's look at the wrong guy.
So we will continue with the meeting.
Okay, and then Ron Savaro.
Thank you.
Okay, so now, David, we're gonna start over with David.
Can I just ask a question? What about the people outside that didn't get to sign?
Everyone had a chance to talk.
They filtered.
Everyone had, I asked everyone if they would like to talk before the meeting started.
Did you walk out there with your list?
She did. They were all in the hallway, yes, they were all in the hallway, and I asked all of them if they wanted to do it. Actually, someone else asked too, so. Okay, so David Schilney. Got it. Okay, David.
Starting all over, start the clock.
Please start over. Yes. Start over.
All right, I'm a 30-year resident of this community. My wife and I raised 2 boys in a great community, a community in which schools attached to provide a great education for them, a community that for the 30 years we have been here has advocated and supported open space. I stand here now because the people sitting at the head table who were elected last year have decided to change what we have with our open space. In doing so, they are now going against the platform they ran on last year. And I know you brought this up.
Gentlemen, can you be quieter so that people can publicly speak? Thanks.
May I quote from their own words? This is from the Homer Township Republicans, our platform. I will not read the whole platform, but will quote one section titled Heritage Preservation. Strengthen the township's commitment to preserving open space and the natural beauty of the township. I can go on, but I'm limited to just 3 minutes, so I will end with this. Let me get something messed up here, I apologize. It goes on to say, we are against any plans to increase density or bring in apartment buildings. And you're not increasing density of apartment buildings, you're playing on words here, but that's fine. So here we are, and I have a question. Why the bait and switch? Why the flim-flam? It's just plain wrong to say one thing, do another, and look to destroy our open space. Gosh, I can go on, but I'm limited to just 3 minutes, so I will end with this. Last week, in front of thousands of fans in the stands and thousands of people watching on TV, a Major League Baseball umpire blew a call. At the end of the inning, that umpire wasn't too proud to admit and acknowledge to the pitcher that, in fact, he had blown the call. What did he do? He looked at the picture and gave him the universal sign, my bad sign, by tapping his chest. My request to you is that you do the same. Preserve our open space, tap your chest, my bad. Thank you. And I want to thank each and every person here that supports preserving our open space. Last thing I want to say is, you talk about leasing land, and these people are going to be leasing the land. That's what they do in trailer courts. Is this Holbert Glen's version of a trailer court?
Thank you, David. Okay, Alan Nemma.
No problem. I'll go quick. I'm echoing what everyone else here is saying. I have 2 small kids. I've lived at Homer for 5 years. I feel a lot of us here has even supported all of you guys at one point in time. Some not. Rarely tell. But similar to what he's saying, we're hoping you guys, please, save face, turn around on this project. I'm worried about the water that we get over in that area, the retention pond that's going to go behind some people's houses, the mosquito issues that we have, the traffic. I was going to say the water farm because my water bill's outrageous, like $250 for a kid, but that's not what we're talking about here. I just feel like there's so many other issues and so many other concerns right now. Please guys, if there's any consideration, because honestly I had a solid talk to my wife. As soon as I see that the construction trucks are moving out, I'm putting a for sale sign. I'm not going to have that in my back. When I bought my house, I didn't buy my house. In fact, I thought my house was the ugliest house on the block. I bought it because of the view I had, that giant cornfield behind our house.
Yep,
It was just
absolutely.
beautiful. It was just beautiful. And my kids ride their bikes. All the kids ride their bikes. I mean, it's such a kid-friendly neighborhood. Please don't destroy that. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Alan. Okay, Eric Crane.
Yeah, I'll be quick. Just to reiterate, I've been out here 30 years. What happens in a foreclosure situation when, for instance, like the bonfire foreclosed? The landowner couldn't afford to afford the taxes, and the landowner lost the land. Isn't land tax exempt? Township land tax exempt? That was my question. Stop.
He's not answering questions.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. And one other thing.
Well, they might.
Who decides the bid process, and how many developers bid on the property like with Flamboy? And who makes the final decision?
Nobody. Okay, thank you, Eric.
Yep.
Again, Dale, decided not to speak. She was not on the list. So we have Joe Thompson.
Now I do public speaking, I'm in advance. I'm gonna go fast because I got a lot of people here. Good evening, everyone. My name is Joe Thomasek, and I'm a resident of Homer Township. I'd like to start off by saying that I am not opposed to the idea of senior housing. It's a great concept and it should be explored. However, there are thousands of acres of private-owned land that are more suitable for this concept. The point I want to emphasize is that this property is not privately owned, and it's definitely not owned by a handful of elected officials. It's owned by all of us, the taxpayers. The property was purchased by Homer Township as part of an open space initiative that was voted on via referendum. Our founding community leaders felt it necessary to procure these open spaces, as many of the surrounding property was and has since been purchased by real estate developers. You and your lawyers may think you have the authority to do what you want with this property, but many of us feel that the intention of the open space initiative was clearly to preserve these lands. In fact, it's proclaimed in bold print on your own Homer Township website that, quote, by law, the purpose of open space is to promote preservation of natural environment, scenic resources, geological features, and historical sites, end quote. I don't think there's any gray area in that statement. It's black and white with no room for misinterpretation. What is key here is doing what is ethically right. Preservation of our rural past is principle that is stressed in the comprehensive plans of both the township and the village. If we allow these open spaces to be destroyed, we're never going to get them back. All of you ran on the Homer Township Republican organization slate. I tend to lean right on most issues, and I would label myself a conservative. One of the core principles of conservative leadership is promoting smaller government. In my opinion, leasing taxpayer-owned land for the purpose of a government-sponsored housing development goes against this principle. If you want to practice conservative principles that you preach, you'd be opposed to this development. Our local government has no place in the housing business. In closing, I'd like to remind you that as elected officials, you have the duty to advocate for all of your constituents. It should be clear to you by now that there's a growing number of Homer Township residents that are concerned about this development and a large portion that are still unaware of it. Well, who's going to advocate for my neighbor Deb? Deb, like many seniors I have spoken to, has said that she's enjoyed her time in Homer Glen, but is now exploring the possibility of leaving the area for warmer climate, lower taxes, and most importantly, a water bill that's not $200 a month. She has no interest in a development like this, and because her home is close to it, she's concerned about her property value going down when this development happens. Who is going to advocate for the thousands of Homer Township residents that live in School District 92? These residents will assume all the financial risk that come with this proposal, yet they will receive zero additional property tax dollars for their school district from the houses that go on it. Who's going to advocate for the residents of Old Oak South? They stand to be the most affected by this development due to increased, I have a couple more sentences, and I apologize. Due to increased traffic flow, noise pollution, and flooding. Did any of you knock on their doors to gauge their feelings about this proposal? No. Instead, according to a lot of my neighbors, they got cease and desist letters today as their first form of communication with the township. Residents are upset, and rightfully so. I hope that some of you can open your eyes to some of the glaring problems with this development and make the right decision to keep this open space land open for the benefit of all the residents of Homer Township.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe, and just to know, we did give you extra time.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And I'd just like to say Mike has been awesome. I'm not an enemy. I voted for every single one of you guys. I appreciate that you guys, please put your emails on the website so we can get a hold of you guys. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Joe. And again, you can always call the office between 8 and 4.
I work nights, so it's hard for me.
Okay, no problem. Okay, next up is Greg Fish.
That'll be me.
Okay, hi Greg.
Hi. Good evening, gentlemen and ladies. My name is Greg Fish. For what it's worth, I'm a Homer resident from the beginning, so that makes me a lifelong. I'm married to Terry, Homer resident from her beginning. So, yeah, for sure. Appreciate taking my statement here, and I have a request at the end of it. I know your job is not simple. I know it goes in your job. I know for sure how you feel sitting in those chairs, because I did it on this board for 16 years, 4 terms. I was a Homer Township trustee, supervisor for a little while, fill out an expired term. So I know what you're up against here. During our term, or my term, was 16 years. It was pre-Homer Glen. There was no village then, and the people that sat at our board were really compelled to do everything they can to minimize high-density housing. We fought with every statute that we had, as minimal as they are, to try to control dense housing so that we could maintain the rural nature of the township that we all loved. We had an aggressive Lockport government at that time that was just grabbing as much as they can and do whatever they could to put money in their pockets. So we had a lot to do. And one of the tools that we had available to us at the time was something called an open space referendum. So while I was a trustee, we put that referendum out to the townspeople. You all know about this, you've heard about it, and it was supported. And everybody pitched in, and to the tune of $8 million, and we were able to buy 4 significant tracts of land, including the Welter property, which is the issue here tonight. And the spirit of that referendum, as you know, I've been here, is that we maintain its openness and try to maintain some of the natural beauty of the township. And we've been successful up until now, and hopefully in the future in doing that. I've become aware of this initiative for this Welter Farm property development. I've become familiar with the senior housing initiative. It really is counter to what the Homer voters had in mind when they voted to pitch in their own personal money, buy this property, and leave it alone. I am now a senior, tax-paying senior, and I oppose brick and mortar development on any of this open spaces property. Thank you. I've talked to dozens of friends and family in the township since I became aware of this, and there's a lot of people that have no idea what's going on. And when I explain it in a neutral way, they're like, "You gotta be kidding me. I couldn't find one person that was like, wow, what a great idea. Putting housing on the Welton property is an idea that this board should discontinue pursuing. I ask you to be stewards of our open spaces. I ask you to protect the properties that we all pitched in to buy 25 years ago. I ask you to represent our interests, like you said that you would when we elected you to represent us on the board. Don't put us in a position where we have to sit here and ask ourselves, did we elect somebody that has such a vast opinion about what we should be doing with some of this naturalization that then we have. So that's my request. I want you to deep six it. I want you to discontinue it. I want you to hear tonight or at the earliest possible convenience say, maybe we overthought this a little bit. We need to back away from this. Let's take the pedal off the metal. Let's have a change of heart. I want you to do that. I can tell you to do that. Thank you for listening.
Here, here.
Thank you, Greg. And again, I want to
Thank you.
mention that we did need a little extra time.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Nicolette Campobello.
I'll just say nice to meet you. I've been a community member of Homer Glen for 17 years now. Community and nature in harmony. That is why I chose to live in Homer Glen. It was the most beautiful sub-rural community with lots of open space. I bought a house that backs up to Welter Farm. It is a sacred piece of open space that was to be preserved forever. The beauty and adventure of that landscape became a playground for my children and all of the children of Old Oak South, both past, present, and hopefully in the future. There is no playground in my subdivision for our children to play safely. If they want to go to the parks, they need to cross busy Bell Road or Parker. This farm became their playground. This open space is their playground. Children explored nature. They searched for fossils and bugs and chased birds. They hid in the cornfields. They witnessed nature up close. Deer that would stroll cautiously through the field and coyotes that would boldly come to our backyards. That was what the Welter family wanted and the citizens of Homer Glen. I urge you, trustees, to continue to respect our Homer Glen motto that is so proudly posted everywhere we look. Community and nature in harmony. Please do the right thing.
Mike Campobello. Hi, Mike.
Hi. Well, I'll keep it brief. Everyone's pretty much made, this guy right here made probably the best comments I've heard tonight. But we're not, no, but it's very factual. I try to be factual. I've been pretty open speaking online about this topic, mainly because it's, I'm an outdoors person. I like boating and doing outdoor things. I have my dog out running the fields. He'll run out, play. And, one of my good friends said, just think of this. Once this land is gone, it's gone forever. It's not like we can revert it back. If we make a bad decision, if someone goes, yeah, let's make this happen, and something goes south, then what do? We don't have anything then. It's gone. It's gone forever. And up front, I would love that project to go somewhere. Like, I think that's a good idea, but just not here. And that's all I have to say. Here, here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Alan Moriarty.
So first of all, I'd like to make note of the majority of the Homer Glen board here, the village board, who decided to remain in their seats even though they're not signed up speakers. And they let people who were interested in hearing this meeting and participating in this meeting, they let them leave instead. That's real classy. So I would like to know when you're going to open the Old Town Hall again at 151st and Cedar, where the meetings used to be held, and it had a lot larger occupancy. As you know, I FOIA'd all the information because I've heard you say that the floor is destroyed, it needs a lot of work. Torima said you couldn't reopen it until it was fixed, and you didn't even know if it was worth fixing, that maybe he's going to tear it down another historic piece of property in Homer. So according to what I have, Torma came, sent insurance adjusters, walked the property last September, and there is nothing wrong with the floor. There is no problem. I have the paperwork, Steve. I have all the documents from Torma, from the insurance company. There's nothing wrong with the floor. There's nothing wrong with the building. When does it open again for the citizens? And when could we use it for an overflow meeting like this? Because I have a feeling you might have some more of them. So where are we going to meet in the future? So that's that. Vicki, you're again talking about the parade, and I just had a question. Will everybody who applies for the parade correctly and everything else, will they get a confirmation that they are in the parade?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. And then item 8C, I know 8A was removed, but item 8C, cease and desist letter sent to all residents bordering the township property to stop the encroachment on the township property. What does that mean? We can't walk on the open spaces anymore? What, encroachment on the property? I mean, what are we doing here? So, I don't know.
No, I know, I got a letter. I don't know if they mean I have a tree growing on there. I don't know if that's my bad. Or, you know, or my husband's cut that grass for 20 years and maintained it because the township does not.
Shame on you.
My bad. So I don't know.
Okay, so then I'm just going to wait for you to open the next public hearing about the road department, and then I'll speak again. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ellen. One more speaker, John Walters. John.
So my understanding is the open spaces referendum was passed to slow down Lockport from expanding this way until Homer Glen was incorporated. I don't know how the Welter Farm ended up on that because it's on the other side of town. Appreciate it. It worked. We slowed down Lockport's expansion. We got Homer Glen to get incorporated. But Welter Farm doesn't meet the definition of open space because it's less than 50 acres. The legal definition says it has to be 50 acres or greater. How it ended up, I'm sorry, this is my turn. I didn't talk during yours. So I don't know how it ended up getting bought with open space money. That might be something to be looked into. I moved here in 2002, adjacent to Woodbine Golf Course. The golf course went bankrupt. I was concerned. It's in my backyard. Am I going to end up with an industrial park, a housing complex, a parking lot? I didn't know. Fortunately, the village came in and bought it and made it into a park. When I had a meeting with Mayor Daley, Mayor Daley said something to me at that meeting that's always stuck with me. He said, John, eventually every piece of property in Homer Glen will get developed, but we can only control how it gets developed. I understand that Woodbine, the golf course is not my property. If I wanted to keep it a golf course, I should have bought it. Now we have a list of 400 seniors waiting for senior housing. I think there's a demand for senior housing in Homer Glen. Now, the people that are against this have self-interest. They border the property and they don't want to lose their personal playground. They have political bitterness against the people who were elected because they were friends of the past board. Or they have what I call Balich derangement syndrome. If Balich came up with a cure for cancer, they would be against it. Hey, whoa, it's my turn. It's my turn. You can debate all of that with me. You can argue with me on every single one of those points.
Yeah, we will.
But we've reinstated the reinstated Obama-era AFFH, Affirmatively Furthering Fair Housing Regulations, by HUD, mandates and requires affordable housing. If we don't come together as a community, think outside the box, compromise and move forward, the federal government's going to come in here and they're going to have Homer Township, they're going to mandate what kind of project we're going to have here. And none of us are probably going to like what kind of project they mandate.
30 seconds.
That's it. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, John. And that ends. Well, let me just make sure.
And it's 80 acres, the total.
That ends the public comment portion. our agenda.
Okay, we're gonna go to the supervisor report.
Let's just do first,
Clerk report.
No, if we weren't.
Every day should be like that.
I'm sorry. I know, I'll go first.
Come on, here.
That's all right.
Hi, everybody. We're thin.
Thank you very much for giving me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nobody else cares
Meetings are over.
Good today. Thanks.
You're raiding the castle.
Yeah, you know, I was in Florida for a little bit. Cheers, y'all.
The meeting's not over, is it? No. Oh, okay. Thought it was. I thought it.
No, the meeting's still rolling.
Okay, we got the clerk's report.
Would you can leave that door open, but if you don't mind closing the other door, only because I do have the air on, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, sorry guys, I'm ready. Okay, I'm looking for a motion to approve the April 12th, 2022 monthly township board meeting minutes.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? I just want to do an update on the Homer Township Annual Parade, which will be held June 25th, 2022. Rain date, June 26th, 2022, along the same Parker Road route. And if you need an application, if someone hasn't gotten an application and they need one, please just email me at bbozen@homertownship.com. And that, yeah.
Just the start time, it is earlier.
Thank you, Mark. It is a half an hour earlier. So lineup is at 9:30, kickoff is at 10:30. So it is a half an hour earlier. We're starting just so people can get to the fest on time because the fest opens up at noon.
One more.
Yes.
Where is the best place to view the parade? So everyone knows.
Where's the best place to view it?
Yeah.
Just
Parker.
along Parker Road.
Parker Road.
Yeah.
At the park?
At Culver Park? Yeah. I mean, there's gonna be parking all around there, so wherever people want to park.
For all the newbies. I know that's kind of
Yeah. I am. Thanks.
Okay, the supervisor report. We have a meeting at the Village of Homer Glen regarding the development that everybody spoke about on May 25th. There'll be an open house at 6 o'clock, and there'll be a workshop at 7 o'clock. So everybody that wants to go, again, it's 6 o'clock for the open house where you'll see diagrams and the rest of the stuff, and 7 o'clock is the workshop. And that's at the Village of Homer Glen on May 25th. Okay, then I'm going to have my attorney talk about the cease and desist orders that went out because people were using our property, and he'll explain what the problems with that is.
Well, it's fairly simple. I know some of you might have got letters. I know some people said that they did, but it looks like maybe they left, but that's beside the point. There are encroachments on several properties owned by the township, and that's an illegal encroachment, and it creates liability for the township if anyone was to get hurt. And encroachments run the gamut from fire pits to volleyball courts to permanent mowing. All of that is a trespass. You would not do that. I'm sorry. People would not do that to their neighbors. It would be trespassing as to their neighbors. It's trespassing as to any public entity. You probably would not build a shed on, if you lived in a municipality on a public park. There are sheds, there are, God forbid, a swimming pool, and you cannot adversely possess public property, so it all has to move, and so those are the letters that went out. And Mr. Seckler, his name was on the letter, but if you know anybody that got one of those letters, they can call Mr. Avery, that's me, at the same number listed on the letter, because I'm working with Mr. Seckler on the project. But that's the nature of it. But the biggest thing is you can't trespass on anybody's land, public or private. And it's literally physical encroachments and permanent mowing that's prohibited. And it creates a huge liability problem that no public body should have to endure if, God forbid, something.
So who's going to care for that property? You guys haven't cared for it for 20 years, and I didn't get a letter.
Let me explain a little further what the attorney said. We found out that we had to send letters not only to the people at the Welter property, but the people over at the Paul property also. The people that bought up to their Trantina farm is a business, and they had their stuff there, so they had to get it moved. But it's become a problem because the farmers pay to lease all the land, all of it, not up to a certain point. The entire stuff is paid by the farmer. The farmer, because when I found out, I said, well, why are you not saying nothing? And he said, what do you want me to do, throw them out of there? And I go, well, you're supposed to let us know so we can do something about it. And you know, evidently they felt like it wasn't their job to let us know. So I told them that we will take care of it because they're paying to lease that entire piece of property. So if somebody's using it, that's not good because they're paying for it. They just didn't say nothing. And if I was the farmer, I would be complaining that I'm paying for all this land and I can't use it because somebody's encroaching on it. So that's why we didn't know about it until recently. And well, the other thing about all this stuff is that, you know, like when people say that the kids play in there, well, the kids aren't supposed to play in there anyway because they're going into farmers' land that he leases. You know, so, I mean, I'm not picking on kids. I was a kid and I played wherever I could play. So, you know, God bless them, but that's the problem. And anyone gets hurt on that property, the township can get sued. Yes?
Can I ask something? You're saying that because the land is leased, that the township is responsible, then wouldn't that be the same thing? Excuse me, wouldn't that be the same thing with the leasing of the place the one everybody's saying?
Those are rental units.
I'm sorry?
Those are rental units. And if somebody gets hurt on them, I'm sure they're suing the township too.
But no, not Founders, the one that hasn't been built yet, that the land is leased. Will the township be liable for things that happen on that leased land?
I think it's best that we talk about that on the 25th, because I really shouldn't be going on, you know, we're supposed to have the meeting, but the answer to your question is it's a different law, and the answer is no.
It's a different kind of thing?
The answer is no.
Is that meeting going to have a big enough room?
Yeah, it's going to be at the, well, I don't know if it'd be big enough. It's at the Village of Homer Glen, and they have I think they can hold probably, I'm taking a guess, 80 people to 100 people. So, I mean, we don't have anywhere else. The school is an option, but
That's probably a good idea.
it's up to the village to decide where they're going to have the open house and where they're going to have the meeting. And the village is pretty big, and that room can fit a lot of people. So the questions that everybody has, I think, will be answered then, you know, at the workshop. And everybody will find out that a lot of the things that are being said aren't true. And there are a lot of misconceptions. So, you know, to sit here and fight with a crowd is silly on our part. So, because you're not going to win fighting with a crowd. The idea is to explain exactly what's happening, all facts, not stuff that's not true. So that'll be at the village, and it'll be run by the village. The township won't be running it, the village will. And that's where the
But
project's
it's the
at.
same lawyer, right?
The
Am I
what?
right? Are you the same lawyer for both?
No.
Yes, they are.
Same firm.
No,
Same
they're not.
firm.
They have,
Same firm. No.
Mahoney, Silver,
Are you
and Cross.
Mr. Porfillo?
No, the firm that will be there is the village lawyer. It's Mahoney, Silverman, and Cross.
Oh, I'll bet Odelson.
That's Odelson Sturk, a different lawyer. But anyway, we're going to move on. If you have questions, please go to the May 25th meeting. I'm saying it again on the camera, so when everybody Googles the video, they can see it. May 25th at 6 o'clock, there's a workshop, and then at 7 o'clock is I said it wrong. 6 o'clock is open house, and 7 o'clock is the workshop. And you'll have people there to answer all your questions. The village board will be there, and the village board is where this goes next. Okay?
Steve, just for transparency, the meeting, the open house is open. People will walk around, look at charts, look at displays, meet with the builder, meet with whomever. Probably all the trustees will be there too. The next segment is structured. So it's not going to be a free-for-all, people asking questions and answers. So there's going to be a pretty detailed presentation of what this is about. And I don't know if there's public comment in that. Dan, I mean, being a village trustee.
Oh, Mark, I think we should just stop and just let the village, it's not our business,
Yeah,
let the village, the village take, no, we're not going to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, don't
We're
be
just going to stop
transparent. Whatever you
and
do,
let
don't be transparent.
let the village do their thing. The village is very good at what they do, so the village will handle it. So with that, we're going to move on to the Highway Commissioner report, Brent Porfilio. And you want me to do the public hearing, or do you want to?
Go ahead.
Okay, a call for motion to open the public hearing for the Homer Township Road District FY 2022/23 budget appropriation ordinance. And is there any motion for that?
I'll motion to open it. Second.
Okay, I'll take a roll call. Sorry. Trustee Conley?
Here.
Trustee Garwin?
Yes.
Trustee Bonomo?
Yes.
Trustee Rivera?
Yes.
Supervisor Ballich?
Yes.
Okay, motion passes.
Now we'll have public comments.
Okay, Ellen Moriarty, she was the only one to sign up.
Right, because for some reason, I guess I'm the only person that caught on the agenda that you released on Friday that this was a public hearing. That was supposed to be, we were supposed to be notified 30 days ago, and we were supposed to be able to review these budgets so that we could come here and talk about them. So I obviously haven't had a lot of time to review a budget, but I have so many concerns about what happened with the road department and Homer Glen and the whole debacle. I just would like to make note that on my taxes this year that the village road fund decreased over 60%. And the Homer Township Road Fund has decreased over 60%. So I would like to know how we're going to maintain roads in Homer, which is now the village's responsibility, but you know, they they can't even keep parks or grass or anything else from what I hear. How are we going to do roads with such little money? And again, haven't had time to review the budget, but Mr. Medema, Dave Medema, said everything was posted within 30 days. So we'll be checking that out. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen.
Okay. Homer Township Road District FY 2022-23 tentative budgets as presented and published. Equipment and building, road and bridge funds for fiscal year April 1st, 2022 through March 31st, 2023. I need a motion to adopt the Homer Township Road District budget and appropriation ordinance number HTRD 2022-0509.
Motion.
I'll second the motion.
I'll take a roll call. Trustee Rivera? Yes. Trustee Benelmo?
Yes.
Trustee Conley?
Yes.
Trustee Garland?
Yes.
Supervisor Balloch?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Now I need a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll start the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, I'll take a roll call. Trustee Conley?
Yes.
Trustee Benelmo?
Yes.
Trustee Rivera?
Yes.
Trustee Garland?
Yes.
Supervisor Balloch?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Now we move to Highway Commissioner Brent Porfilio's report.
A couple quick things. I got a number of things to talk about. I do want to address Ms. Moriarty's questions. I don't know if she's left.
She's here.
Do you want to sit down and listen to my?
I'll
Okay.
listen right here, thank you.
Okay, so you asked about the IGA between Homer Township Road District and the Village of Homer Glen. The majority of the roadways from last year have been transferred over to Homer Glen,
Yes.
along with their maintenance. Well, you asked the question, so I'm trying to answer it. The budget for the road and bridge on the tax bill that you received, the rate went down from .1738, which was last year, for 150 miles of streets, to .0588. That's a 67% reduction. We're down to 21 miles now. And there's also staff cuts that were made, and a number of other efficiencies that were cut to get to that 67%. Do we have enough staff and equipment to handle 21 miles? Yes, we do. I can't speak for Homer Glen. You can ask that at their meeting on how they do. But the snow removal and the salting this winter was excellent. We coordinated everything with the Village of Homer Glen, and we had a few complaints at the very beginning, but those were ironed out. And it was a very successful year. I don't know personally how things went by your house, but I got a lot of people that called me and said that they did a great job. So that's the first litmus test of the combination of us working together. If you want hard numbers, 4.5 million was the levy last year for road and bridge. This year it's 1.5 million. The equipment and building fund last year was 550,000. This year the budget's 250,000. So those are some numbers that were posted the first week of April. It was posted on the website for the road district. I don't know where it was posted for the township, but it was posted on our website on the first week of April, which is 30 days before this meeting. So you had asked that question, and I wanted to answer it for you.
Yeah, but they're dated April 12th, so I don't understand how they were
It was
posted before the
the week before our April meeting it was posted.
dated April 12th. And I forgot to ask, so who pays the $1 million to Lockport? The city of Lockport's not going to get their money? The residents of Homer Township?
I want to answer her. I want to answer her. Okay. I had meetings with Mayor Strike and with Ben Benson, and they're not getting another penny from us over the half share. That's the law. I'm not breaking the law for them. In past years, we gave them a lot of money. I don't know why. I can't ask anyone why, because obviously Mr. DeVivo passed away, but it's against the law. You can't do that. They've come to me many times already asking for money. I'm not giving it to them.
So the residents of Homer Township that live in Lockport can just continue to double pay then now?
Double pay.
Double pay. They pay Homer Township roads and they pay City of Lockport.
The ordinances that are set forth for this township are set by the state. I can't control them. The tax rate for the whole township is the same.
That's
No
not
matter
what
what
DeVivo intended.
No matter where you live in the township, Ellen, you all get the same tax rate. It's not biased toward anyone. If you're in a municipality, then yeah, I live in Lockport and I have to pay twice too. But that's the way that it's set up. I can't pick and choose what rates everybody gets. It's a statute that's been there for decades and I can't change that.
But you don't take care of their roads, so why do you continue to take their money?
It's a state statute.
We take care of unincorporated roads that the residents of Lockport and Homer Glen use. They use Gauger, they use Chicago Bloomington, they use Bruce Road. Those are roads that belong to the road district that are maintained. That's
Ellen,
why.
a lot of the arterial roads and the ones that are traveled by the most people that feed into the municipalities, we take care of them. So it's our way of contributing to the roadway network with the municipalities. But yeah, we're not paying another penny over half share. I'm not doing what Mike DeVivo did. It was out of line, it was illegal. It's not gonna happen under my 4 years. So you can, it's in the minutes, it's on the video, I'm not gonna do it.
Did you have any other questions? Okay.
Oh,
Real quick there. So when we voted on the referendum, it was 18 miles, if I'm not mistaken.
It's 21, the MFT listing was 18.
When we voted on the referendum, and tell me if I'm wrong, it stated 18 miles when we voted for a referendum.
I don't know about that.
Which referendum you're saying?
I'd have to look at it.
From the township to the village? We weren't part of that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
didn't
have it. I don't even know.
That was actually the original one, and he got the 18 miles from an MFT printout from the state, which was an error that I corrected. But that IGA was not signed. I did not sign it. It was torn up and it was replaced with a new one.
But the language clearly said 18 miles.
You're saying on the referendum. You're saying on the referendum.
Yes.
Yeah.
It stated 18 miles.
But
that was incorrect.
That's not what we put in there.
Regardless, we voted on 18.
So what is your point about, I'm just asking
How did we go from 18
Because
to 20?
the map with the portions of what's under the jurisdiction of the road district versus the MFT printout, which Mike blindly took as the number of miles, they didn't match. It was the first thing that I checked when I started office. I want to know what we have jurisdiction of, what we're responsible to maintain. And it's 21, it's not 18.
Mike had miscalculated that when he put it.
The MFT listing is incorrect. It does not match. So the map, well, that's Mike, that's not me.
Girlfriend that did it.
So there's a map that shows 21 miles. And then there's a printout that says 18. The printout does not match the map. The map takes precedence, and it's 21. And it's all laid out in the new IGA on each street, and how many miles on each street is my jurisdiction. And it's all on there, on the new IGA that was signed. So that's a little bit different. And I have asked the county engineer, Jeff Donaldson, to change that, because that means we get more MFT money, because we have more miles. So we're being shorted money because they were assuming it's 18 when it's incorrect. So I've already pursued that extra money from him.
So that was just something that they falsely stated.
And a lot of people brought that up, by the way.
Right, but again,
a lot of people brought it up.
A referendum that we all voted for, and it said 18 miles. No.
Well, someone has to take care of 3 miles, and we can't just not take care of it.
But then again, your salary went up for those extra 3 miles. Am I correct?
My duties as road commissioner are defined by the state book of Torma. Whether I have 2 miles or 200 miles,
Right.
I still have the same duties.
No, I don't think it has anything to do with your salary.
No, I'm just saying. And my duty is set. I have nothing to do with that. It was set before my term. Doesn't matter, like I said, if 2 miles or 200 miles, I have a book of what I'm responsible for.
But your pay would be different for 18 miles than 20.2.
My responsibilities are always the same, no matter what.
The answer to your question is that we have a legal opinion that states what Brent is saying is correct. And so, all the stuff that Brent has just said, he's repeating 5 times because you're repeating your stuff, and we're going on and on and on. And the answer is, we have a legal opinion that says that his salary had to be what it is. And we also have his opinion as an engineer, a PE, a certified PE. And we are already with the county going to increase the mileage to the map miles that he set. So there's not any more room to argue about this stuff.
I'm not arguing, Steve, I'm just asking a question.
Well, you asked it and he answered, and you asked the same thing, and he said the same thing. So let's just stop with all that. And you want to go on, Brent?
Thank you, Brent.
You're welcome. The 2022 Homer Township Road District Capital Improvements Program. Forest Manor is up in the northwest section of the township. We're improving 1 mile of roadways up there. That's going to be bid out this month. It's going to be finished this year. Roadway District building build-out is in progress. It's begun. The water sewer service trench work is going to be started next week. It's going to probably take about 2 months. The paving improvements have to be coordinated with Homer Glen because that might be done during the time of the Homer Fest. And we kind of want to make sure we're either done right before it or we start right after it. The Tamling Drive residents I'm going to be meeting with this month regarding their truck traffic issues. If you haven't heard before, I've said this a number of times. Residential streets are not made for trucks. And on Tamling Drive in the northwest area of the township, there's trucks cutting over from Smith Road to Archer Avenue through their street. There's 20 residents there, lots of little kids, there's no sidewalks, so the kids got to walk on the street. to play and to get to other people's houses and to get to the bus and everything else, and we're trying to handle that situation with a number of different options. I've been coordinating it with the police department, the fire department, emergency services, and everyone else, and we're narrowing it down to the last few items. We're going to try to do those improvements this year to give them the relief that they deserve. The road district entered into an IGA with the Lockport Township Road District and the City of Lockport for the Farrell Road improvements that are going to be done this year. They're going to start just north of Oak Avenue, and they're going to go all the way up to 151st Street. So if any of you use Farrell Road for driving locally, you could maybe look for another route. I think they're going to have lane closures when they're doing the reconstruction work. That's going to be all done this year. And that's everything that I have to report. Yes?
Smith Road Bridge.
Smith Road Bridge was on the list of things to be improved this year. I solicited some vendor options and costs for alternates, like a pipe culvert alternates, box culvert alternates, prefab bridge alternates. I have gotten a couple of prices in. Unfortunately, because of the Farrell Road improvements, which is in our jurisdiction, by the way, I think we have about 0.8 miles on the east half. Because of that, we're going to have to put it off till next year. But the ball is rolling, and I also have been coordinating with Lockport Township Road District on sharing some of that cost, because the west half of the bridge is theirs, and the east half is ours. And I don't know if any of you have ever driven over it, but it's like Swiss cheese. The salt has not been kind to it over the years and hasn't been maintained the way it should have been previous to my term. So we're going to try to do the best we can to keep it patched up until we get some money to fix it the right way. So that's probably going to be next year, because we got to follow the budget. That's it.
Okay, there's no report from Carmen Morella. Accounting, I need a motion to approve all payment of bills for April 2022, Founders Bond, Founders Crossing General Assistance, Open Space, Park Developer Contribution, Park, Town, Road and Bridge, and Equipment and Building. You get a motion for that?
I'll start the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, I'll take a roll call. Trustee Conley?
Yes.
Trustee Rivera?
Yes.
Trustee Bonomo?
Yes.
Trustee Garwin?
Yes.
Supervisor Ballard?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, we have no new business, no old business, so can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay.
All you guys, the trustees, we have to get these.